Sheri lived more in 23 years than many do in twice that time. She was the one to be found at Venice Beach on dreary winter mornings, running on sand and drinking in the novelty of crisp solitude. The one to fight her way downtown during LA rush hour to make it to protests. Everything Sheri did, she did fully, humbly, with a touch of friendly sarcasm. She was an agent for social change, using her voice to advocate for the rights of the underprivileged, women, immigrants, LGBT people. She was a scientist, an athlete, an activist, a writer. She moved seamlessly between realms, chaining together elements that few would think to link.
It's been a year since staff researcher Sheri Sangji died from burns suffered in a chemistry lab fire at UCLA. A recent graduate of Pomona College, Sheri had been hired only months earlier by Professor Patrick to work in his lab. As the end of the year approached, Aaron insisted that Sheri work through the holiday closure period. So on December 29, 2008, while the rest of the university was shut down, Sheri was working with a pyrophoric chemical, one that catches fire on contact with air. When the syringe she was using to transfer it came apart in her hands, her clothing caught fire. Her screams brought two other researchers to her aid, but by the time emergency responders arrived on the scene, Sheri had suffered burns over 40% of her body. For 18 days, she struggled to live, but finally succumbed to her injuries on January 16, 2009. She was 23. The university must establish a culture of safety in which risks are openly discussed and assessed, and staff trained and prepared to deal with them. However, a culture of fear in which staff are intimidated and feel forced to risk their health and safety in order to feed their families or advance their educational or career goals is not conducive to a culture of safety. That is why UPTE-CWA calls for the implementation of workplace health and safety committees in each department to deal with these issues. Finally, we ask that the university create a memorial honoring Sheri Sangji, perhaps a memorial garden in the science quad itself. We pledge our support and collaboration in making this a reality. We strongly believe that Sheri and her story need to be remembered to serve as a constant reminder that health and safety matter and must be given top priority by the campus community.
The tragic death of Sheri Sangji allowed us to achieve contract improvements because it brought to the forefront the need for health and safety to be improved in our laboratories.
What kind of improvements were we able to make in the contract?
We were able to get the university to agree to not retaliate against any of our members for reporting health and safety concerns, and acknowledge the right that we have to all health and safety inspection reports and complaints.